Hello, I'm Pat Carosa, and you are watching the Buffalo Bills Pat Carosa channel. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can get awesome Bills content throughout the season. And what I'm going to talk about today are the takeaways I have gotten throughout the preseason as the Bills wrap up their preseason schedule this Saturday at 1 o'clock against the Chicago Bears. And then cut down day happens, and then it's the 2023 season, which I am very excited for. I think it's going to be a really exciting year for the Bills, and I think they're going to be a good team. I really do. Even after the display on Saturday, I still have faith in the Bills. I'm wholly an optimistic Bills fan. I always have been. I always believe they're going to have a good season, even throughout the 17-year playoff drought. So, I always think they have a chance. So, I truly think they're still going to be a great team, and, they will have a good offense. And the defense is going to be good. So, I'm just going to, come away with some takeaways and what of my thoughts during these last couple weeks of them in training camp, and in their two preseason games. So, let's start talking. Let's start with the game on Saturday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A disappointing game. They fell flat, 27-15 against the black and gold, and that wasn't too surprising. I think the Steelers are an upcoming team. They have a okay quarterback, a good defense, good running game. I really like that Weber guy, but still, the Bills got outclassed by an opponent that they should be better then. And there were a couple reasons and a couple concerns I have heading into this coming season, but some bright spots as well. So really, there are two areas I thought the Bills struggled in against the Steelers that I'm concerned with. First is the offensive line. Now, the penalties. Yes, they had 12 penalties in the first half. That's a definition of a preseason game. That's a definition of a team going on the road for the first time since the Cincinnati Damar Hamlin event way back in early January. So I'm not too concerned about that. A lot of that is our pre-snap penalties. They just didn't get the cadence down. They didn't recognize Josh Allen's voice through screaming at fans, and in an unfamiliar environment as well. Not like St. John Fisher or One Bills Drive. They were in Pittsburgh, and it was different. So, there was a lot of kinks to work out in their first road game of the season. So I believe by week one, those pre-snap penalties and holding penalties will disappear, and the Bills will be more of a fluid offense than what we saw on Saturday. So the penalties I am totally not concerned with. Yes, they look sloppy, but one team game planned with the Steelers, and the Bills obviously did not game plan. They had a very basic offense, and they just wanted to get in there, work on their kinks, work on their offensive plays, and get out of there healthy. And that's what you wanted. And the Bills didn't have really any major injuries. I know Tommy Doyle got injured, which that was really sad. But overall, they came out of the Pittsburgh game healthy, and that's what you wanted. So that was a concern. And yes, the offensive line did not play great. They let a lot of defenders go. The Steelers were playing a 3-4, in that if you don't game plan, can cause fits for the opposing offense. So that played a big role. Spencer Brown did not have a good day. He really needs to have a good season. Both tackles, Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown, needs to have a good season this year, because they really don't have any depth behind both. Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. Brandon Shell just retired out of the blue. You had David Crisenberry, who is like an he's really he's good, but then he is a very cold type of player. He can be really bad, but also really good at times, and that's not a person you want as a top backup for both Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. And he just wasn't good with his feet. He had two penalties, especially two on one drive, and one that wiped out a really good pass and catch from Josh Allen to Gabe Davis early in the game. I mean, it was picture perfect. It would have sent the Bills on their way for either a field goal or a touchdown, and they just kept going backwards. So, that's my viewpoint of it. But I think that will be ironed out by the start of the season. It's a concern, but not too big of a concern that I think that can hold the Bills back this coming season. So I think the offensive line will be okay heading into week one against a really good Jets defense. So yeah, I will obviously preview that game later on, but that's going to be a interesting test. Jets defense against the Bills offensive line, which gave them fits last season. So we'll see about that. So yes, the offense didn't look good, but that doesn't mean that in 4 weeks the offense can't be humming when they face the Jets on Monday Night Football. So I'm not too concerned about the offense. The one position that I am concerned with is middle linebacker. I don't think the Bills have any answer at middle linebacker right now. I think AJ Klein will start the season as the middle linebacker, but I wouldn't be surprised that by the fourth or fifth game of the season, there might be a different linebacker. Dorian Williams, Terrell Bernard, who I think will be the starting linebacker, but he's hurt now with a hamstring. Tyrell Dodson played into the fourth quarter, so that's not a good sign. So they have no answer at middle linebacker, and they did not look both did not look good. I thought AJ Klein did a little bit better of filling the holes, but he's not a good coverage guy. So you're really stuck there at middle linebacker. And I said it in the off season that the Bills needed to get a veteran linebacker in free agency. There were people available, but they were more stubborn in thinking that these guys will step up, and maybe they will, and I'm not saying that they won't during the season. That one of these players, Terrell Bernard, Dorian Williams, you can say AJ Klein, but he's more of a veteran linebacker, that they won't step up. But, right now it doesn't look good, and that will cost the Bills games throughout the season. I mean, they had a long touchdown run against the Steelers, so that's not a good thing. So, overall, it's not a panic button just yet, but it is a real concern about the middle linebacker right now, because the Bills don't have any answers unless they go out after cuts and sign a linebacker, to help them out. But right now, I am not impressed by all of the linebackers, and it is a real concern heading into this season. And teams will keen on that, kind of how the Steelers keen on that in the Bills game on Saturday. So we will see how that works. But overall, from what I've seen in training camp to now, and in the first preseason game, which they did look good, the starters did look good. I think they're gonna be a good team. I think the defense is going to be good. We'll see about middle linebacker, how they mask that, but I think they're going to be a good team. I am impressed. I went to the training camp at St. John Fisher, and they look great. Josh Allen looks great. He looks in mid-season form, really, in the practices. Now it has to translate to the games. I think my last point I'm going to make is the pressure. There is definitely pressure on this team. And there is no doubt the fans are creating the pressure. I'm creating the pressure of them getting to the Super Bowl because they've had three bites at that Super Bowl apple of being in the playoffs and getting there, being the best team in the NFL, and getting past the wild card round, and getting close to the AFC Championship, and getting to that Super Bowl, and they just can't do it. And there's a lot of pressure on the Bills right now, and it will go into this season of getting to the Super Bowl. They have to get to the Super Bowl to alleviate really that pressure and win it. Win it. So, that's really what the main goal is. And, I think and if the Bills don't get to the Super Bowl this season, that pressure is going to be ramped up and up and up even more. And in that 13 seconds game a couple years ago will just loom larger and larger and larger, because I think if the Bills win that game, they would have gone to the Super Bowl, no doubt. So, it's the pressure. It's definitely the pressure that is getting to the Bills players, fans, and coaches as well. So, we'll see where it goes. I'm excited for the season. It starts in about 20 days, 3 weeks. So, I am excited. So until next time, go Bills.